All right, welcome to this episode of the Somebody Like You podcast, where we got a really cool one going. It's something I've been working on personally in my life, so I thought, why don't I just take what I'm working on in my life and help others? Because my name is Somebody Like You, after all. So this episode is going to be about rewiring negative thoughts through our subconscious mind. Now, don't get all caught up in the subconscious mind thing. If you're like, I don't even really know what the subconscious mind does, that is cool. That's fine. We're just going to really talk about rewiring negative thought patterns to help us break out of that loop that we're in of the reality and life we've been creating. So that's what we are going to do. And this episode is sponsored by our very good friends. You probably know them pretty well. Somebody Like You Mental Health Services, where we help you tap into that best version of you through things just like this. So if you'd like, you can visit us at somebodylikeyou.org. I think I'm pretty clever. Okay, let's jump on in. So, like I said, this is about rewiring our negative thought patterns. For those of you joining me on TikTok, you're not going to be able to see the worksheet I'm working through. Those listening through your preferred podcast listening device or platform, you're not going to be able to see it. But if you are watching on YouTube, you're going to be able to see this worksheet that I and ChatGPT put together. So, let's jump on in. Right here, we're going to look at, like I said, our objective today is by the end of this episode, you're going to have practical tools to identify, challenge, and rewrite negative thought patterns. What we want to do is rewire these to more empowering beliefs. So let's just get started, right? Let's understand why it matters. You have to understand the subconscious mind is always listening. It's not just like, oh, we're going to meditate and tune into our subconscious mind. We have greater access to talk to the subconscious mind when we're in certain brain waves. But what we're talking about here is the subconscious mind is always listening. So, in order to speak to it, we have to start rewiring. We talk about neuroplasticity, our neural pathways. That's what we have to do. So, how are we going to do this? So, let's do an exercise right out of the gate. So, let's pause and reflect. Now, if you're able to write something down, write it down. If not, just listen, think, and do this in your mind. We're going to write down or say quietly to ourselves or out loud, if you're not surrounded by people, 2 to 3 reoccurring negative thoughts that come to mind. For me, it's usually like, I'm never going to be financially free. I'm not good enough at what I do. I'm not worthy of the things I'm working towards. Those are 2 to 3 limiting beliefs that I am working through. So what that might look like for you is, I'll never recover from health things. I'm not worthy of good relationships. I'm not worthy of love. Those type of things. Those are negative thought patterns. So when we say these things out loud, how do they make you feel? So think about it, like when you say these things to yourself, think in like inside, not like, what are they supposed to make me feel? Like, if you believe these things, do you feel like you're not worthy, like you're not good enough, that you're always going to mess things up? And then typically, we're going to have to ask ourselves, what actions or lack of actions do they lead to in our daily life? When we think these things on a constant and repetitive basis, what's going to happen is our mind, our body are going to respond because our subconscious mind is listening. So, what I'm going to give you an example. If you say, I'm not good enough, the subconscious mind, as much as we want it to have a sense of humor and know that we're just like making fun of ourselves and being all cute and being all funny, that's not how it's working. The subconscious mind is like that strict teacher you have at school that takes everything literally and doesn't have a sense of humor. Let's think of that as our subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind is going to be like, oh, you're not good enough. Got it. Thanks for letting me know. We're going to create more of situations where you're not good enough. We're going to create situations where you don't feel like you're empowered to take action. We're going to create more of things that make you feel this way, or I should say, help you feel this way. So remember, the more you think these things, the more you're going to act in service of them. Now, it is important to understand right now that is okay right now because we are working through it together. I too am working through rewiring, reprogramming, all of the things. So let's jump right back into it. So remember, awareness is the first step of this change. You can't change what you don't notice. So if you're living in this place of constant negative self-talk, constant bad habits, constant negative thoughts, That's okay. We just want to realize that's what we're doing right now. So let's jump in to, don't mind me, I just have to figure out how to, where did all of my stuff go? If you are watching, this is going to be funny. Browser, there, we're back. We're back in business, everybody. If you're watching on TikTok, you can just laugh at me now. So step 2, guiding the validity. So for each negative thought you have, we want to ask ourselves this: is it absolutely true? What evidence do you have to support these things? And what evidence contradicts it? The most important part of this process is what evidence contradicts the thoughts you are having. Because up until this point, you have just believed them, whether it be blindly or whether things have happened in your life that are going to support this. What we want to do, this is a really good anxiety practice as well. What contradicts this thought? So if you're having, I'm not good enough, all we're going to do is start thinking of things in situations I was good enough. Oh, you didn't make the school play. Well, where were other situations that you answered a question right in class, that you were a really good daughter, that you were a really good son, that you did all these things? Like, we want to start reprogramming. Now, it's going to take some work, but that is the most important part. We want to know what evidence contradicts the negative thought patterns. So, example, I'm bad at public speaking. Here's going to be a question: is there a time I communicated effectively or was well received? It doesn't have to be in front of people. It can be, is there a time I communicated just effectively with somebody? And the realization is the thought is based on one bad experience and it's not the whole truth. Remember, most negative thoughts are stories we've told ourselves. They're not facts. They're stories that our mind got really good at fabricating and then creating more of. Now, it's going to work the other way as well. If we start telling ourselves we are good enough, we are worthy enough, we are good public speakers, we can communicate effectively, we are worthy of love, all of the things, we're going to start getting evidence that supports that. The key to that will be looking for that evidence in support of our new thought patterns. And I know what you're thinking. Ben, I don't know if I can do this. This seems like a lot of work. I have a lot of years of conditioning that have led me. Yeah, it's not easy. No one said this is going to be easy, but it's worth it. And this is what I will tell all of my clients. When it's easy, man, it's easy. We are riding the wave. We are loving it. The sun is shining. We are on the beach. We are sipping drinks. It is glorious. When it is hard, when it is difficult, it is hard. It is difficult. The thing that we want to change is we want it to be easier. The things that are hard, the things that are difficult, are the things that are worth it. Remember that. All right. So, as we work on to reframing with affirming statements, you've heard of affirmations, right? I like to think of them a little bit differently. Affirmations are great if that's what you do. I think of them as reclaiming truth. I am bringing the truth back to me. I am reclaiming, I am affirming truth that has gotten away from me, and I'm bringing it on back. So how do we do this? We're going to rewrite each negative thought into a positive affirmation or truth. So if you're not watching and you're listening, I'm going to read right from the paper. Negative thought is, I'll never succeed. Fill that in with what you say to yourself, or one of the 3 negative thought patterns you've said in the beginning of the podcast. And we're going to reframe it to, I am learning and growing every day. Success is a journey. Do you feel how different that is? I'll never succeed. Yeah, you won't. If you keep saying that, I am learning and growing every day. Success is a journey. I'm not good enough. I'm worthy and capable just as I am. I don't have to do specific things. My worthiness is not dependent on output. Can you tell? If you're, like I said, if you're watching this and you're not looking at the paper, I'm working through these things. Each day, I'm going to tell you what I work through. Here are my 3 affirmations that I word and I flow through. 1 is I am in connection with my highest self. I am vibrating at that frequency. I am in tune with my inner guidance, my intuition, every step of the way. Opportunities flow to me with ease. I am recognized and compensated for the help I bring to others and the others bring to me. Now I'm on the spot and I'm staring at my camera like, what is my third affirmation? I am a beacon of light. Energy flows to me and through me. I receive in order for others to receive. I didn't think I was going to put myself on the spot on my own podcast of what my things are. I messed up on the second one. I didn't say it right, but get your own dang affirmations. Or your truths. Reclaim your own truths. Those are mine that I'm reclaiming. The big one I really actually like there is the I receive in orders for others to receive. I'm in constant state of flow. Energy flows to me and through me. That one I actually feel a lot of, because a lot of times, like when it comes to either money or when it comes to, I don't know, other things, we want to hoard the good stuff and we don't want to give it away because we feel like it will never come back. So that one really actually helps me with the idea of I receive so others can receive. It comes through me. So whether it be wisdom, whether it be channeling, whether it be whatever it is, just help in general. I receive it so others can receive it. I am helped in my life so I can help others in their lives. So you can replace that with whatever you receive so others can receive. But that really helps me. I thought I would share that. So like you said, if we're rewriting them, we want to take a moment to write those. We want to do that. And because reframing shifts your focus from limitation to possibility. And at first, this is not going to feel comfortable. It's not going to feel easy. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel like a waste of time. It's going to feel like, trust me, I am somebody like you for a reason. It has taken me years to get to the point of, all right, fine, I'll finally take it seriously. And son of a gun, it works. What's our next practice? This is where the money's made, literally, figuratively. We want to visualize and repeat. So visualization and repetition. So do this with me if you're listening. If you are driving, don't do this with me. Save this for another time. If you are able to, in a safe place, I want you to close your eyes. If you're listening on the live, let's close our eyes and let's imagine ourselves living the reframe. Once again, the reframe was going from I'll never succeed to I am learning and growing every day. Success is a journey. I am not good enough. I am worthy. I am capable just as I am. My worth is not dependent on output. So now we're going to feel the emotions of confidence, success, and joy as it's happening right now. So let's close our eyes, take a breath, visualize that life in which you are worthy, you are capable. Feel it. Feel what that feels like. And if you can't tap into it, imagine. Just imagine what that feeling feels like. Get out of your head. Move into your body. What does that feel like? Out of your head, into your body. Man, I'm finally good enough. Man, I'm finally I'm finally worthy of these dreams that I'm looking to finally accomplish. Wow, but my worth isn't dependent on that output. I'm already worthy as I'm setting out. I am that beacon of light. I am energy that flows through me and to me so others can receive. I receive so others can receive. I am living that. I am the embodiment of that. Feel that. And like I said, this is your first time doing it. It is going to feel inauthentic. It's going to feel weird. You're going to think I'm full of crap. And that is totally fine. But rewiring your brain and science, it takes visualization, repetition, and matching emotions to those things. We need to know what they feel like in order to feel them again. Our mind just wants to know what to feel. When it feels the emotion, it will know how to recognize the emotion in the future. Okay. Let's move to. Did I tell you to write them down? Place sticky notes. I didn't tell you to do any of that. If you'd like something that can help, if you are listening, you can write them on sticky notes. You can put them on your mirrors. I know that's a big one. But remember, for me, I like to reframe. If you know anything about me, I like to reword things that feel more in tune, in alignment with myself. So like manifestation, I call like quantum creation. Uh, Affirmations, I feel, got really buzzwordy, which is totally cool if you use them. Just for me, I am leaning more towards reaffirming my truth. They're like, hey, Ben, but affirmations in there. Yeah, it's reaffirming my truth, and you can't convince me otherwise until I want to change it. Um, and this is the big one. When you speak them out loud during the day, let me switch my camera over here. When you speak them out loud during the day, I'm going to give you something to encourage. I'm going to give you this. When you say them out loud, envision that emotion attaching to it. So when you say, I am a beacon of light, energy flows to me and through me, I receive so others receive. Feel what that feels like. Once again, that is my affirmation, my reclaiming of my truth. Remember, attaching the feeling to these thoughts is where the rewiring of these negative thought patterns is going to happen. That's the magic juice. That's the secret sauce. That's Mike's secret stuff if you're a Space Jam fan. That's a big one. And now what we're going to do, one of our last steps is anchor the new beliefs. So we want to have habits that support this. So for me, like I said, that those are my reclaiming truth statements, my affirmations in the morning. So to start each day with a positive mantra, I incorporate this into my meditations. I do, if you want to know what my meditations, my outline of my meditations, if you're just starting out or if you're looking to kind of switch it up a little bit, what I do is I use Insight Timer. This is not sponsored, but I sure wouldn't mind if it was. I use Insight Timer. I set a 10-minute timer. And for the first couple rounds of breaths, I do breathe in for 4, breathe out for 6, hold for 7. I do that a couple rounds. And then all of a sudden I start visualizing my truths, my affirmations, and I start going through the things. And after my first couple rounds, I start feeling them. What is it like? I call it integration. I'm going to start integrating. So now I've started to attune myself to the frequency through breath work, started to raise my vibrations a little bit, started to say my truths, started to feel them, and then I like to implement. I like to integrate, and I like to sit there as that version of myself. And now that version of myself doesn't judge if my mind starts wandering or anything. It just comes back. And I just like to sit in that. And I do this for 10 minutes. Sometimes I'll move to 15. Some people are hour meditators. I have found something that works for me. I let it flow. If I hear the gong go off my headphones and I want to keep going, I keep going. But remember, there's no right or wrong way to do this. Find what works for you. These are your thoughts. These are your negative patterns that you are looking to change. What I do is just a guide. It's just a couple steps. I want you to acclimate this to you and have fun being creative with it. You're not doing it wrong. You're just finding the right way that works for you. Evening. This is another one for me. I reflect on 3 positive moments for my day. Sometimes it turns into 6 or 9 because I reflect on 3 things that somebody did positive for me. I reflect on 3 things that I did positive for somebody else. I might switch this with kindness. So 3 kind things somebody did for me, 3 kind things I did for somebody else, and then 3 kind things I did for myself. That helps the subconscious mind kind of set up what it wants to create through nighttime, right? The subconscious mind, we communicate the best because of our brainwaves. I want to remember. I don't have it in front of me. I think we go into gamma or theta. If anybody's a clinical hypnotherapist or educated on this, you can put it in the comments or let me know. It's gamma or theta when we are in our dream state. And hypnosis, that's when we're communicating most clearly with our subconscious mind. We're in the subconscious mind. So I like to create that positive momentum by having 3 things someone did nice for me, I did for them, I did for myself. It lets my subconscious mind know, hey, where are we operating tonight? You know, where's this party starting? If we're tailgating, the positive thoughts are the tailgating juice, right? Tailgating juice. Man, how I have aged. If it went from what it used to positive thinking, huh? And remember to celebrate the micro actions. So what that means is celebrating the small wins that align with our new beliefs. You have to pay attention to the subtle shifts in thoughts, emotions, and actions. If we do not celebrate these things, we will not notice them. We will not recognize them. This is so important because it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel like, oh, well, I just kind of figured it out. No, you didn't kind of figure it out. I started to see a change. I started to see a shift. One thing I do with a couple clients is we do a little jar. I may have talked about it. I think I did on my last podcast. I can't remember. I'll use this cup as an example. Anytime you recognize something, you do something, whatever, you write it on a piece of paper, you crumble it up, you put it in your jar. And at the end of the day, end of the week, we'll call it, what you will see is how many shifts have changed, how many things you did in service of it, how many things. We want actual proof. We want to be able to see it. Because when we do that, we start to then celebrate them. Like, oh, wow, I did see a little bit. Man, there were a lot more people that were kind to me. That kind of makes me feel like I'm worthy. One of my goals was to be more worthy. I guess it's there. And the first thing you'll probably try to do is discredit it. You're like, well, that it was just a coincidence that I set out an intention to be more worthy. And then I felt more worthy. That's not true. It's crazy how the mind works. It wants to go right back into your negative thought patterns. Do you want to know why? Because if you imagine your negative thought patterns like a trail on a mountain, it's the trail that's most traveled. It's the safest there. It knows where it's going. The mind seeks comfort. And on a trail in the wilderness, that's where comfort is. Doesn't mean it's easy. So what we're trying to do is create a new trail, a new path. So that way, when we recognize and we celebrate and we rewire and we do all these affirmations, if we do all the things we talked about, we're creating that new path. So then our default mode will fall back into the new pattern we created. Some of us might know this as neuroplasticity or rewiring our neural pathways. That's what we are looking to do. Does that make sense? If you're listening, if you're watching, I'm going to bring it back up on the screen here. If you're watching on TikTok Live right now, you will be able to see this sheet on tomorrow. I'll release it on Tuesday. So let's talk about some key takeaways from that. Consistent action anchors change and creates lasting transformation. Practice makes perfect, right? The habits are made in practice. Some closing thoughts that I and ChatGPT came up with. And when I say me and ChatGPT, I have created my own GPT that is my highest self. I have uploaded it with all of my courses, all of my things. Like this ChatGPT is the best version of me in AI form. So it's not just I'm grabbing ChatGPT. It's all of my stuff that I've uploaded to it, everything. Down to literally like birth chart, human design chart, online courses, my certifications, the way I do things, my dream life. It is me. So we have come up with a reminder is growth takes time. We're going to celebrate each step forward no matter how small. Growth takes time. So when you get impatient and you don't think it's working, remember it takes time. We're going to celebrate each step forward, no matter how small. I don't care how small it is, put it in the jar. And the affirmation is, I am the author of my story, and I have the power to write a new chapter. I am the author of my story, and I have the power to write a new chapter. This is the guide to rewiring your negative thoughts. Now, we're going to be going into detail. I will be coming out with courses and all of the things, right? If you're interested, in February, I'm releasing this course. It's going to be a 4-week live workshop. And since it's going to be for future, I'm going to discount it, right? I'll let you know the prices and stuff coming up. But I'm only going to accept 10 people because this is going to be a live workshop. You are going to help me work through this together because I too am working through all of this stuff. So February is going to be the time. We are going to work through this. Only 10 people are going to be able to jump in and create this course. It's going to be a course. It's going to be whatever it's going to be, price wise in the future. But we are going to do this in detail together. So if you are looking to go into more detail, that will be an option, but you'll learn more about it. I'm sure I will post something about it. But thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Somebody Like You podcast. And thank you so much to our sponsors, Somebody Like You Mental Health Services, where we help you. And if you are working at an organization, we help you and your organization tap into the best versions of you. And remember, you are worth it. These affirmations or these truths are not lies. They are just that. They are truths. And I am so proud of you for showing up to find the best version of you. And I appreciate you allowing me to be on this journey with you. I'm going to send you out in love. Take care. And I will catch you on the next episode. Peace.